God, that was so stupid.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got myself into this situation. Well, it all started when I got dealt pocket kings. But before that, we gotta go to the beginning. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Brantzen Poker Vlog. I'm Brantzen. Thank you so much for your support. Today we're back at the home casino, Ocean's 11, down in Oceanside, California. And let's play some poker. Yeah, I mean, the nice thing is that I just don't like till, you know.
Alright, we got the flush. Okay, he's got a set of eights. We got him. Hold.
Tell him he's got a lot of class, and it's all low.
Lately, we've been alternating between the 2-2 and 2-3 no-limit games at Ocean's 11. Given our current bankroll and skill level, Mikey and I decide to jump into the welcoming and comfy 2-2 game. I buy in for the max of $200, and I immediately pick up a nice pair of black 10s in the hijack. The under the gun limps, and I decide to raise to $10. The button, small blind, and under the gun call, we're going 4 ways to a flop, which comes Jack, Queen, 3, all spades. The small blind checks, and the under the gun leads out for $25. I've played with this guy before, and I've seen him limp call frequently with all sorts of trash hands. Having the 10 of spades in my hand, I choose to call. I believe this player often just has the ace or king of spades, and when they have 2 pair or a set, then my flush draw is live. Plus, my hand has that faint possibility of a straight flush, and calling keeps that dream alive. The button hates me and my dreams, and raises to $100. The small blind folds, and the under the gun calls, putting him all in. I think I have no choice but to fold. The turn comes the 6 of spades, and the river's a 2. The button shows Jack Queen off for 2 pair, and our trash panda man wins it with the good old premium hand of King 3 offsuit, hitting his king high flush on the turn. Soon after, we pick up pocket 7s on the button. The under the gun limps, a player from middle position limps, and we open to $12. The big blind chooses to put in a 3-bet to $36, the limpers fold, and I make the call. Well, there's no greater feeling than flopping a set, and that's exactly what we do when the flop comes 5, 6, 7, 2 clubs. The big blind c-bets $30, and I think whether to call or raise. This flop doesn't hit his 3-betting range much, as a lot of times I think he just has 2 overcards. He could also have a big pair, but with top set, I don't want to push him off any hands yet, and I decide just to call. The turn comes the queen of spades, and the big blind checks. I would expect this player to bet hands that contained a queen, like ace-queen or king-queen. I would expect him to bet aces or kings, and I would probably expect him to continue betting his flush draws as well. This left me thinking he most likely had 2 big cards like ace-king, ace-jack, ace-10 suited maybe, or possibly a middle pair. I wasn't scared of any of these holdings, so I checked to try to induce a bet on the river, or a light call if he chose to check. The river came the 10 of diamonds, and the big blind checked again. I bet $80, hoping to get a call from a 10 or middling pocket pair. Instead, he folds ace-king of hearts, face up, and we take down the pot. While I'm scooping the chips and jotting notes in my phone from that pocket 7's hand, I look down and see the dealer gave me pocket 8s, the lucky snowmen. The under the gun +1 opens to $6, the Lojack calls, I call in the cutoff, and the big blind calls. Seems the search for their lost brother is complete when the flop comes 7, 8, jack, 2 hearts. I flop back-to-back sets for the first time in my poker career. The under the gun +1 bets $10, the Lojack calls, and on this wet of a board, I definitely want to put in a raise and get some more money in this pot. I raise to $35 and the big blind calls, but the under the gun +1 and the Lojack folds. The turn comes the 3 of hearts, and the big blind checks to me. I'm well aware that the big blind could have called my flop raise with a flush draw, and the last thing I want is for the big blind to check raise me here on the turn and jam the river. I also think that checking back the turn makes me look weaker and will make it easier for him to call me light on the river with a mediocre hand. I check, and the river comes an offsuit king. He checks to me, and I bet $55. Unfortunately, he folds, later telling me he had Jack 10 offsuit, and I was wrong. He did not want to call me light on the river. Ah well, He got off easy this time. In the next hand, there's a straddle and the under the gun limps. Well, it must be the day for pocket pairs because we pick up pocket jacks on the hijack. We raise to $20, the button calls, and the under the gun limper calls as well. The flop comes out 10-3-4 rainbow. The under the gun checks, and this board looks great for us. Because no one raised us preflop, it's rare that anyone will be holding queens plus, and with my large raise preflop, 2-pair combos like 10-3, 10-4, 3-4 are all going to be rare as well. The only realistic hands I'm losing to at this point are sets, and I bet $40. The button folds, then the under the gun goes all in for $132. For his stack size, I don't think I'm ever folding. If he's got a set, he's got a set. Otherwise, this player is quite aggressive, and could just have a 10. I call, the turn comes an ace, the river is a 5. I don't like the ace because ace 10 makes 2-pair, but the player mucks and says he had a 10. Chip update, and also my friends have been giving me flack that I haven't been doing more chip tricks, so here you go. Alright guys, it's time to show the hand from the beginning of the video. I know I'm nowhere near a perfect poker player, but this one is straight up embarrassing. Embarrassing. So I get pocket kings in the Lojack. Great, right? Wrong. I wish I never got it and could just hide under a dumpster instead. Okay, so I open to $8, the cutoff, and big blind call. The flop comes out 5-3-7 rainbow. The big blind checks to me, and this is a great hand to check. This board doesn't favor my range, and it's good to have some stronger hands to check. But do I check? No. I bet $12. Okay. Now the cutoff raises to $31. The big blind decides to fold, and the action is back on me. I think, what could he have? Possibly 8s, 9s, 10s? Maybe a set? 6-7 suited? Maybe 7-8 suited? Ace-7 suited? He only has about $140 left in his stack, so if he has a set, he'll almost always continue firing and force me to call his whole stack on the turn and river. If he has a 7 or an overpair, there are a lot of bad cards that could come on the turn, a 4, a 6, or face cards, that would slow him down and cause him to possibly fold. For these reasons, when I bet the flop and get raised, I think I should 3-bet here, possibly even consider a jam. But do I 3-bet? No, I call. Okay, so now the turn is a 4, putting a one-liner to the straight. I check, and the cutoff bets $60. At this point, I've done everything wrong and should probably just fold. But do I fold?
No! No! No!
I go all in.
No!
He snap calls and has pocket sixes, which I actually didn't expect. After that, I had to cool off a little bit because I knew I played the hand horribly. After taking a small break, we come back to the table, and our next significant hand is in the small blind. Get ready for a fun one, folks. The hijack, cutoff, and button limp, and I look down at Jack 9 offsuit. I check, and the big blind, Mikey, checks as well. We go 5 ways to a flop, which comes Jack, Jack, 6, rainbow. We flop trips, but we don't want to scare anyone out of the pot, so we check and hope someone bets. It checks all the way through, and the turn is the 3 of clubs. I check the turn as well, and Mikey bets $5. The cutoff and button both call, and I think about this situation. Between the paired board and the fact that there are no flush draws, I think what could possibly be enticing 3 of my opponents to stay in this pot? There's really not that much money in the middle to incentivize anyone. I have a jack, so it's only possible for one other opponent at max to have a jack. I also think it's very possible someone could be slow playing a full house with pocket 3s or pocket 6s. I decide to just call with intentions of check calling the river. That is, until it comes out a 9. Sitting with the best possible full house, I think about how I can get the most money. I wanted to pick a sizing that targeted weaker full houses. I didn't want to overbet the pot because that might allow some low full houses to just call the river. I tossed out a bet of $20, hoping that I would get raised. Mikey folds, the cutoff folds, and then the button raises to $100.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
I think it's a high possibility that my opponent has a full house now, and it's time to charge the maximum. We go all in for a total of $303. My opponent thinks for a while before tossing in the beautiful calling chips. We show our hand, and our opponent shows pocket threes for the low full house. Somehow, in a limp pot, we were able to get the maximum value and take it down. Ace-king in the next hand, the under-the-gun limps, and I opened at $12 in the Lojack. The big blind and under-the-gun call, and the flop comes king, 4, 5, 2 clubs. The big blind leads out for $20, the under-the-gun calls, and I raise it up to $70 with top pair, top kicker. Both players are short stacks, sitting with roughly $130 each, and they both go all in. For this price, even if I'm behind, I'm never folding, so I call. The turn is a 4, and the river is a king. I show my cards, and the under the gun shows ace-queen offsuit. I guess some people just want to gamble and watch the world burn. The big blind then turns over 4-5. He flopped 2 pair, turned a full house, and then I rivered a higher full house. Okay. I don't know what to say.
Holy shit, what did I just miss? I go to the bathroom for 2 seconds.
Okay, well, the luck doesn't stop there as we pick up pocket nines in the hijack. We open to $8 and the small blind calls. The flop comes out 9, jack, king, all spades. Of course we flop another set. Why wouldn't we? It's only an 88% chance that we don't flop a set. He checks and we bet $10. He calls and the turn is the queen of spades. With 4 spades and a super connected board, it goes check check. As fate would have it, the river comes a king. Of course, giving us a full house. He checks and I bet $25. He calls and pays us off with queen deuce of diamonds. All right. After that, we take down a small to medium pot with 8-10 of spades, and then Mikey and I decide to take a quick break to eat at the casino. Mikey and I grabbed some dinner, and we came back, and they cleared our table, and we got back on the waiting board. So, looks like we're calling it a night, but in for 260, out for 991.
Smash that like button.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end. If you enjoyed it, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. I only play once a week right now, but I upload these as fast as I can. Editing's still new to me, so it takes some time. Anyways, I'm Brantzen, and I'll see you in the next one.